So Billy Joe Saunders' opponent for the KSI Logan Paul card has finally been announced. He will take on an Argentinian guy called Marcelo Esteban Coquerez. Is that how you pronounce his name? Coquerez or something. I don't know how to pronounce that surname. I don't speak Spanish. But he's an undefeated Argentine. Not many Argentine super middleweights out there, people. Let's be real. But he's an undefeated Argentine super middleweight. In fact, it says here that his division is middleweight. He's 28 years old. And unsurprisingly, all of his fights up until now have been in Argentina. And that is not a good sign, is it? Because generally speaking, if you get a good fighter come out of Argentina, they usually start fighting in America before long. They're usually talent spotted and end up signing with an American promoter or an American-based promoter. And, you know, they start fighting in that country. But with this guy, it's not the case. Unless he's going to be unless this is his breakout moment, of course, you know. But when you look at it, the guy's had 29 fights. So I'm dubious as to whether this is actually going to be his breakout moment. You never know. They do produce some good fighters, Argentina, but mainly in the lower weight divisions, welterweight, etc. We've had the likes of Lucas Matisse and Marcus Maidana over the past decade or so. So let's see. Do any of you guys know about him? It's probably going to be quite difficult to find video footage because of his fights being in Argentina. And in a lot of these developing nations, video footage of the fighters they have down there are usually not as easy to come by. It's not usually as easy to come by. So some people complaining about Billy Joe's opponent. Well, from what Eddie Hearn is claiming in one of his recent interviews, the Billy Joe fight, the Devin Haney fight, and probably most of the undercard is going to be on free to air in the UK. Okay? And therefore, you would imagine that all of the pay-per-view revenue for the main event and maybe one other fight will be divided between Sky, Logan Paul, and KSI. In which case, there's probably not going to be much money left over to pay for opponents for the likes of Billy Joe and Devin Haney. So you can't expect them to fight anybody good. You should really look at this as more of an exhibition, more of an opportunity for Billy Joe and Haney, etc., to gain publicity, rather than them being involved in a real fight. It's just a showcase for them. And once again, I think that this event is great for boxing. Some people are skeptical about, how much this event can encourage others to be involved in boxing or to start following boxing. I think those people are very naive. If you look at it on a very, basic level, you've got two YouTubers fighting. Now, the first time they fought, it encouraged other people to want to fight. Yeah, other YouTubers and people associated with those YouTubers wanted to fight each other. Well, what is that? It's people getting involved in boxing. That is then going to have a trickle-down effect, and smaller YouTubers are going to want to fight other smaller YouTubers. Obviously, it's not all going to be pay-per-view, big events, because the smaller YouTubers can't command those kind of audiences. But among their little sections of the YouTube community, there'll still be, plenty of fans, thousands of them, looking for them to fight one of their rival creators on YouTube. And perhaps they'll choose boxing as the way to do it rather than MMA or whatever the case may be. And other people as well will just look at KSI and Logan Paul and think, you know what? They're just a couple of YouTubers. If they can get involved in boxing, I can do it. Because when you see top fighters, the Lomachenkos, the Tyson Furies, the Usyks and all that, when you see those fighters and you're just an average Joe who's never laced up a pair of gloves in your life, you might think that that's unachievable for me. I can't do something like that. So let me not even try. But when you see a pair of YouTubers who you've been following for years. One guy just used to play FIFA. He's just an average dude. Used to play FIFA with his friend on the sofa and got big doing that. And the other guy just did pranks. When you see a pair of people like that, they're more relatable to you as the average Joe. And you think, actually, maybe I could try my hand at boxing. Maybe I'll take one of my friends down to the local boxing gym and we'll spar together because we're on the same level. We're both complete novices. Events like this absolutely do promote the sport of boxing. They open up the sport of boxing to a wider audience. That's what they do. It's like the kindergarten reception class level of boxing that brings in all these new potential fans. Now, of course, not all the people who watch KSI Logan Paul are going to end up as boxing fans. But even if 2%, 3% of them end up as boxing fans as a result of watching that event, and it probably be higher than that, but even if it's just 2 or 3%, well, that's still more people than there would have been previously, because these are people who don't normally follow boxing. A lot of the KSI and Logan Paul fans. So I think it's great. Virtually all the boxers who you've seen interviewed about this think it's great. I've got no idea why these so-called hardcore boxing fans have got such an issue with it. To me, they're not really boxing fans because this is good for the sport. Yeah, if Eddie Hearn was putting, or any other promoter for that matter, because Frank Warren don't have a problem with KSI and Logan Paul. But if Hearn was putting on shows like this at the expense of putting on genuinely good shows with world level fighters in world level 50-50 matchups, if he was putting on shows like this at the expense of that, I'd have an issue with it. But he's not. He's putting on both. It's not either or. He's putting on great shows with competitive matchups, as well as, the likes of a KSI versus Logan Paul. So what's the issue? If you're doing both, there's no problem. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about Billy Joe's opponent and everything else. And by the way, people are kind of mocking Billy Joe or mocking his decision to join Matchroom because he's been complaining about not getting the unifications. And as soon as he signs with Matchroom, he's fighting this guy on a KSI Logan Paul undercard. They're saying he basically hasn't progressed from fighting on those small shows with Frank Warren in leisure centers and whatnot. Well, we'll see. This is his first fight with Matchroom, and it's probably going to give him more exposure than any fight he had with Frank Warren. And of course, Billy Joe being Billy Joe, after the fight, you know what he's going to do. He's going to call out Triple G. He's going to call out Canelo. He's going to be vocal. And this event is going to have a very large audience. A larger audience, again, than he's probably ever fought in front of before. So, and remember, the kind of crowd who is going to be watching this fight, these are the kind of people who are on Instagram and Twitter all day sharing video clips and memes. So if Billy Joe starts wilding out in a post-fight interview, there's a good chance that his clips could go viral. And again, that can help him understand the audience that we're talking about here for this event. These are the people who are, Instagramming and Twittering all day and sharing memes and clips and all that kind of stuff. That's this audience right here, even more so than the boxing audience. This is the kind of audience who can make you go viral. So if Billy Joe, shows up and shows out in the performance, of course, but also in the post-fight interview, it could really help his profile. It could help put pressure on the likes of Canelo, Golovkin, and whoever else to fight him. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.